Welcome to the most important podcast you are listening to right now. The A Show with April Hunter and Aron Stevens.
Hello, and welcome to the A Show. And if you don't know, we talk about everything going on in the world and the nation, from pop culture to inflation. And now we are live. We are here with April Hunter, who is the host. I am the co-host. And with us this week is my new and ever-evolving hairstyle. So just stay tuned for how that kind of comes about and pans out as the weeks go by. So, April, what the hell's going on?
Did you hear about the Viking who was reincarnated?
No.
He was Bjorn again.
Ha! Excellent.
Hey,
Excellent.
Why are Scandinavian women so hot?
I don't know.
The Vikings didn't bring back the ugly ones.
You know, that actually is funny. That's funny, but do you think that was partly true? Think about it. I mean, let's discuss that.
You froze up, so I don't know what you're saying. You're probably yelling at me for not being politically correct here. What? Sorry?
No. Well, you know, I think like people who are less attractive, I don't think that there'll ever be a movement because, again, that's a very subjective thing. You know, we're attracted to different people.
It was a joke I read online. It's a joke I read online.
But I'm going to say this.
It's just. Do
you think that there is some truth to that? Like people who are not what the Vikings would have considered aesthetically pleasing, do you think that would be like kind of like, yeah, you know what, we're not going to take you back?
Honestly, I don't know. Depends on how the Vikings were pretty resourceful. So if somebody was useful to them, I'm not sure it would matter what they look like. So if they spoke multiple languages or had a skill, they're probably going back.
Good.
So I know they were allegedly a very diverse group of people because they did pull from everywhere that they invaded. So they were a lot more diverse than they get recognition for. They're not all blonde hair, blue eyed giants. They were very ethnically mixed. People don't realize that.
Yeah, it really is insane because of especially how they treated, and I believe we may have touched upon this before, but how they treated women in the call, like women were equal to men.
More equal, yeah. Mm-hmm. Goddesses. That's why.
Yeah,
and like that had goddesses, the women were treated better.
Yeah, and then and especially like I think in the Western world, which of course like Christianity was responsible. That was like the religion that was most popular in the colonization here of the North America and the Americas. But I wonder if history's written by the winners, and if that wasn't such a let's make the Vikings look like barbarians and savages kind of deal.
It could very well be because they didn't exactly write their history down. Everything we got from them was from one of their two books. I don't know if I'm saying this right, the Eddas. So their written language they had ruins. We talked about this already, but they didn't write their history. So they were simultaneously modern and ancient, which
they were too busy making history.
Exactly.
Didn't have time to write it.
Exactly.
Didn't have time to write it.
So we see your face today.
Yes, I had to shave. I shaved on Sunday. So this is like, I have the Eddie Munster, like I grow, my hair and nails grow, but I also take biotin plus keratin, which it's responsible for your, skin and hair health and everything like that. And, so I got to clip my nails once a week and, for my haircut, I have to just sometimes get more haircuts than I'd like, but whatever. No,
it's not a bad problem to have.
No, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. So I'm sorry. What were we? I completely lost track.
That's okay. I was going to say that we have a bunch of stuff.
Excited.
I know. Sorry. Yeah, a lot of people get excited over hair. You're such a Leo.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about a lot of things. So we're going to touch on the fact that the careers that we went to school for did not yet exist. we're going to talk about a couple of things we put out there on Twitter, asking people what they wanted to talk about in here. And somebody, a few people give us some suggestions, and I will read those questions. We lost one of our coworkers this past week. We're going to mention that. Capital gains tax. What else were we going to touch on? In relationships, how we connect to human beings and why breakups affect us so painfully and deeply. So that's on the schedule for today. So I guess I
never
will
know what rabbit hole we'll go down either, which is great.
Right. So we might not get into it. That might all be shipped in next week. But one of the things I guess we will start off with is to mention that our coworker Melissa Coates passed away last week, and it was a bit of a shock. She was pretty young. It was sudden, from what I understand. It was a sudden heart attack. She'd been having some health problems. In our very first show, we did push her fundraiser because she was trying to raise money for a good prosthetic that wasn't covered with her insurance because she had lost her leg this past year. So,
may she rest in peace, and just prayers to her and her family. And I don't say that in the thoughts and prayers or with, because I think that is so played out, and I think it's maybe it has good intentions, but like, I don't know. I mean, I don't do that a lot online, but I think in this situation where, I've actually, I said a few prayers for her and her family, and it's tragic, it's part of the wrestling business, unfortunately. And there are times when, death happens and you become somewhat desensitized because you've dealt with it so much. Like, since I was like 20 or 21, I mean, I have lost people in the business every year, in the wrestling business, that is. So, when you hear of it, it's tragic, but then some of them, they do hit home. Like, some of them, like, no matter how desensitized you can become, the people that you did know, and did spend time with, and had like some, shared experiences. Like I Kowalski's, and then Melissa was actually in OVW, and it was just it was a shock, and it's sad. And again, just my prayers are with her whole family at this time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I spoke with her brother. She has a couple brothers, and her one she's best friends with, and he is just completely devastated.
Oh God, yeah.
Just kind of, this came out of nowhere. So it wasn't expected. So there's that, and we are just terribly sorry for, like Aron said, her family and her, the people that she's left behind, and there's that. So she's a legend, and wanted to pay respects to her.
Well, yeah, she was like 7th or 8th in the world, and she competed in the Olympia. I mean, that is such a God. I mean, to do that
kind of discipline is insane. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, and there are every gym in the country, there's jack people. Like there's like, oh yeah, I'm into bodybuilding and this and that. Like that's where you're going to find these people at gyms. But like to do that at the Olympia. And I think this was even before the Arnold. I mean, that was the Olympia was the only game in town, and just crazy. Like again, the discipline and everything else like that. So that's talk about making the most of your time on Earth.
Yep.
What's that?
So.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, you're completely frozen up for me.
Oh, I froze. Oh, no, you just did. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't catch any of that last part at all.
Oh, no, I was just, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Your frame is frozen, but yeah, I hear you.
No, I'm just talking and not moving my mouth. I'm actually a ventriloquist, and this is actually, yes, I'm doing this on purpose, everyone. If anyone is a good ventriloquist agent, let me know. Yeah.
Voiceover work.
Exactly. No, I just was saying how it's absolutely incredible. Again, the discipline and
Yeah.
just like talk about making the most of your time on Earth here. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's the truth. Like she lived a lot of lifetimes, and she did more in her 49 or 50 years than most people will ever do in their 80 or 90 years. So you
Yeah.
have to give her that. So
Yes.
she truly lived. She lived. So
Should I leave the studio and come back in so I don't have to be the ventriloquist?
yeah, you can try.
I'll try that. Well, I'm
Try
going to
it.
leave and sign right back in.
Okay. So here in Florida, we are having a tremendous storm. We didn't even get much of a warning, just a tornado out of nowhere. So I wasn't even sure if we are going to be able to go live today just because of how bad it's been. I'm like looking out the window and checking. I'm not in a flood zone and everything flooded. My street flooded. Everything's a mess here. So I was like, all I did was just yank my hair back. It's frizzy because I was outside trying to rescue my chickens and put sandbags down. So there's that. So the show goes on whether you have frizz or not. So here we are. Yeah, you gotta love it. So we went from, I met Melissa at WrestleCade a few years ago when she and Sabu came. She was a big sweetheart. She was a big sweetheart. And it's a testament. I wrote this. It's a testament to who you are and your legacy and your personality. When you're repeatedly hearing again and again, Melissa was a sweetheart. And we're hearing this from both fans and workers. In a business like the entertainment industry where people are kind of out for themselves sometimes, we're hearing Melissa was a sweetheart. She was such a sweet girl. Oh my God, she was so sweet. And you don't always hear that after somebody passes away, or maybe you'll hear it a little bit, but not consistently across the board from everyone. So that kind of says a lot about her. So yeah. Anyway, we're just going to patiently wait for Aron to get back in here. Oh, hey, how's the puppy? This must be Cam. So the puppy went to another foster. So I was taking care of a little chocolate lab pit bull puppy for a while. I do foster dogs, and I don't do foster. They come to me when their foster parents go on vacation. So I had a little one for a little while, and she was awesome. And then her parents came back and they got her again. So actually, hopefully at this point, she's been adopted, because the puppies, I don't think they last very long, and she was super cute. So, but I am puppyless right now, and that is okay with me. Because on her way out, she chewed my school at Full Sail University. They gave us a really nice MacBook Pro. And I guess I looked away for maybe like 8 seconds, and she chewed the cord to my MacBook Pro. So I had to go out and get a new one. And my dumb ass didn't know that that was going to be like a $90 cord. So yeah, I got the open box one for $73. So I was like, and she also tore up some of my curtains. So yeah, puppies are fun. I realized with her that I'm not ready for another one. So it was a learning experience. I appreciate it, but it was a learning experience. So Winona says, where I live in Kentucky is a flood zone, and like 90% of the time after it floods when it snows. So yay, ADHD Southern weather, right? So believe it or not, well, I moved from Kentucky. That's where I came from, was Louisville. And Aron used to live out there too. So it's funny, when I left Louisville, all my friends, they're like, oh, I can't believe you're moving to Florida. The storms and the weather are so bad down there. And I was like, you have to be kidding me, right? Because Kentucky had hands down. They got the worst of everything. They got ice storms, windstorms, snowstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes in January nonstop. I mean, you could see this. And then the summer it could be 101 degrees. In the winter it could be minus, I don't know, -1 degree. It was just so extreme. And I remember moving there and looking up the weather. I was like, oh, what am I in for? What should I expect here? I remember them saying, mild climate, not too bad. First winter there, it just clobbered us. I was like, what the fuck? And it never let up. So yeah, Kentucky's the new Kansas. So yeah, I feel you. Who else is out there tonight? Anybody else saying hi? Hey, Alexa. How are you? Alexa, you're having a birthday soon, right? If I remember correctly. Alexa is doing some of our social media, and I wanted to say thank you to her for doing all of that. And she has not been feeling super great, so she's still keeping up despite not feeling super great. So she's put up our TikTok and our Instagram and something else too that I'm blanking on because I haven't had quite enough sleep. So thank you so much for doing that. We are both extremely grateful. So we probably don't tell you that enough because we're all working and doing a lot of different jobs, but just please know that we are grateful. Very. So, and happy early birthday. Got lots of rain and a tornado in northern Indiana. Yeah, right?
All right.
Because Indiana's like Kentucky.
Good. You know what? Good for both of them. First of all, what did I miss? I don't want to come in here and
we're just talking. I was taking messages and we were talking about how the weather in Kentucky is like horrible.
Right now?
Well, no, just in general, like compared to Florida. Like they have really? I thought they had the worst weather ever. Wait, I missed Fred's comment.
Humid. Yeah, it is humid.
Yeah.
But springtime in Kentucky, there's nothing like it. Because when March 1st hits, everything just blooms at once, and it smelled like God sprays perfume everywhere.
That's a honeysuckle.
I tell you what, there's nothing like springtime in Kentucky. But then again, there'll be tornadoes and lightning and everything. But I would like to apologize. Ice. Oh, yeah, the ice, yeah.
God.
However, I'd like to apologize to everyone. My stupid computer just froze up. And then I go to click off, and I was clicking on the buttons, the little mail link, and the re-sign, and it just froze. So I had to shut it down. And then when I go to turn it back on, it says, updating your stuff and doing this and doing that. I'm going to go on a rant right here about updates, okay? I have a phone. I've had this phone for about 5 years. And you know why I keep the phone? Because I enjoy it, because I know it. I know how it feels in my hand. I know what to do. I don't want a new phone. But you know what? If you want to tell me that I have to update my stuff, no. Make something that just works and it stays. Because if I pay for a phone, it should work for as long as I want it to work. Okay? It's like a car. I get it. Sometimes we may need to replace a screen. We may need to clean something out, whatever the hell. But you should not, under any circumstances, make it a necessity to update your stuff. That's bullshit. And whoever the guy is that, or girl, I'm sorry, we're going to keep this, whatever.
It's a guy
that makes the decisions to like whoever it was, like, let me just do this. And yes, we'll update because you can kiss my ass. And I hope you're listening. All right. I hope like the little stooges out there and YouTube and Twitch and what the hell are we on right now? Patreon, right? If you are listening, kiss my ass.
So I'm with you. I have an old phone. I have an old Samsung S8. I love it because of the battery life. And it updated and I lost all my mom's voicemails. I had saved them. My mom died. I called and they told me, sorry, there's nothing we can do to get those back. And I think I spent like a day and a half crying. I was like, what do you mean? Like, it was a forced update. So I'm with you on that one, 100%. So, yeah. Anyway, that brings us to one of the topics I was going to talk about, believe it or not, the person who's working that job.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That job didn't exist when we went to school. The person forcing the updates on us. And the stuff we went to school for that they're teaching the kids now, people get all upset, they're not teaching kids cursive writing anymore. Okay, they're not. And it sucks. They're not going to be able to understand grandma's recipe book or her scrapbook. But are we using cursive writing? Like I'm a writer. I write by hand a lot, and I find that I am forgetting words sometimes. I'll put a word down and I'll look at it, I'll be like, boy, that word looks really weird because I don't do it this way a lot. Mostly we're typing, right? So if there's only X amount of time in a day, of course you're kind of going to abolish whatever's not really being used. So cursive writing might be one of those things. But here's the thing. If we're teaching what we're teaching the kids in school now to prepare them for the jobs that are going to be out there when they get out and get ready, there's no preparation for because they don't exist yet.
So adaptability is key. Do you have the ability to learn something? Do you have the ability to take information and process it and go from there? Right?
Right. So we're putting all this emphasis on certain things, but I mean, did you ever think in a million years when you were in school learning whatever it was we were learning that you would need that to be a pro wrestler or a writer or a podcaster or to update websites or to push your stuff on social media or to do live chats?
Well, as the intellectual savior of the masses, the answer is yes. But I think for everyone else, the answer would be no.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Honestly, English, my English professor, Mr. Reynolds, who I've talked about on here several times, he was, very, very cool and, a class advisor. And I had him pretty much every semester throughout my high school career. And he was just really, really instrumental. And then, I always knew I was going to be a pro wrestler. But when I actually became the intellectual savior of the masses, part of my shtick was using the $5 words, as I call them. And, Mr. Reynolds really did. He helped me out a lot. And that's why I would always return to Holy Name and, see him and talk to the children as Damian Sandow. But unfortunately, the bishop has decided due to St. Peter Marian. And if you are from the Central Mass area and you went to St. Peter's, I don't care, first of all. All right. Holy Name was the superior high school. And with Mr. Reynolds, who later became the headmaster of Holy Name and installed a windmill up there, clean energy and through the financial crisis, kept Holy Name afloat. And Holy Name was doing better than any other school. So Holy Name won the war. Okay, St. Peter's, you lost. You lost. All right. It's not like we beat you in football, which we did, by the way, when I was there, both times for the Bishop's Cup. Thank you very much. I played football my junior and senior year of high school, but no, we beat you. You were so bad that you brought the average down to where Holy Name had to concede. And because the bishop didn't want to upset anyone, it's now some weird high school name, whatever. And I will not set foot in there again. And I will not contribute to the bishop's fund for Central Massachusetts as long as this bishop is there. And you know what? I will give to charity and everything else like that. But you know something? I don't agree with the decision, and I don't like the guy.
Don't think they're watching right now. But
I don't. And if they are, so be it. I'm not going to tell them.
Gut feeling.
Yeah, but I'm not going to tell them. Well, maybe this will air in syndication, and maybe they'll see it sometime. So this is, for reference, we are in the end of June 2021. So, whoever the bishop is, you know who you are. But no, you know what? It's just a personal thing. No. Holy Name won the war. They are the superior high school and will forever be. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. So what is real quick before we close this story out? What's your favorite 25-cent word or $5 word? As you put it.
Word?
Mm-hmm. Or $5 word?
Extrapolate.
Okay. Use it in a sentence.
Well, if you will forgive me for extrapolating, I believe you would say something to the effect of, if you don't use it in a sentence, you don't know what you're talking about. So it's kind of guessing what you would say and deductive reasoning to a given response.
Okay, fair enough. So my point to all this before tangent was that for the first time ever in history, well, since probably the Renaissance era, art school.
Yes.
Is kind of the way to go to ensure your kid's future. I know that sounds insane, but this is the first time in a long time where artists are no longer starving. So the one thing that computers can't do is creativity. That's the one thing that they can't replace. So human creativity, music, art, writing, all this visual storytelling, because everything we look at is a visual storytelling, kind of situation, is done through art schools. So,
can Instagram and like, is that considered an art form? Because in the sense of, look, any idiot can take a selfie, and most idiots do, but knowing how to post, no, you're not. No, I take selfies now because it's the way Instagram is. I'm talking about like whatever. But knowing when to post, knowing what hashtags to use, knowing visually, these are cues that the public will respond to. Now, it's a very like bottom of the barrel Jerry Springer version of art. But in my opinion, it is a form of art because it is a form of expression. You know, even if it is as shallow as I want to get, 3,000 likes on this photo. So I'm going to take a picture of myself wearing a, revealing outfit. And this goes for, both male and female. Is that not art in a weird way?
Well, everything is a visual storytelling, right? Or a visual story. So yeah, it would fall under that, I would think.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
some people do it better than others.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and then you got the people with the filters, and then there's some people that use filters that really should not use them because it's creepy. Right? I mean, like there's
Like, I don't get the cat thing with the thing. Like every time I see that, I'm just like, that's stupid.
No, that stuff's ridiculous. No, I'm talking about, but it's not. I don't consider that a filter. I'm talking about like people that like. They take a selfie. Oh, thank you. I know. I am Mr. Marvelous. It's been crazy. But no, I'm talking about like, and thank you for that. Oh, and by the way, I'm just going to make this publicly. It is Alexa's birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And I believe I read something about wanting a signed picture.
Yeah.
Colin, we will get you on that. We'll make sure it's taken care of. So
yes.
Just before I forgot, but no, I'm talking about the people with the filter. And there's a lot of males that do it. Not a lot, but I've seen a couple. Like when the males like just take the selfie, like, "Hey, I'm at the gym," and then, but they put the filter on where it looks like they're completely airbrushed. There's something a little creepy about it. I don't know. My opinion.
Guys taking selfies at the gym is just kind of creepy for the most part. There's a way to do it, but yeah, it's like guys taking selfies in general for the most part. There's a real fine line there.
There's no need.
Like a real fine line.
There is no need. Unless you're promoting something. Unless you like look, with Sensible Meals, or something, which you can go to eatsensiblemeals.com and use code Aron10, ARON10 to save money off your first offer. Sensible Meals have gotten me in the shape I want to be in. Go to eatsensiblemeals.com. So, sorry.
So should we sing happy birthday to Alexa really badly?
Yes.
All right, ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Well, it's okay. It's early. It's early. It's on July 24th.
That was me doing my I just did. I did my impersonation of Dr.
Come on. Ready?
No. I did. That was my Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show singing happy birthday to Rocky. Now I just performed for everyone.
Well, she said her birthday isn't until July 24th anyway, so I guess we'll do it when it's closer to that date.
Okay. Well, I just said, it's my birthday. I'd like this, so I assumed it was your birthday, Alexa. But we'll get you the picture. Don't worry. And again, thank you so much for everything you do for the show. It is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, big time.
Big time.
All right. So somebody wrote in and asked. There's a couple questions. Here's the first one. I'm trying to think which one to go to first. Wrestling and self-care. How do you balance beating up your body and healing?
Apes, do you want to go?
You can go on that one since you've been nursing broken ribs left and right and literally.
Yeah, it's funny. The last, the NWA taping in March, and then the one this past couple weeks ago, broke ribs on one side, broke the second one, broke ribs on the other side. So now I'm balanced. How do I handle wrestling and self-care? I'm going to be very honest with you. The only thing that I do for self-care is the grapeseed oil and then a little bit of the gimmick cream. But grapeseed oil, and April and I have both attested to this, is amazing. You can buy it from the store. Store it out of light, like in a drawer or something like that. At nighttime, bust it out, rub a little on, fountain of youth. But Epsom salt, that has gotten me through so much. Dr. Teal's Epsom salt. They used to have this thing, of course, and it's funny because I say skin cream. There used to be this stuff called Neutrogena skin for skin so healthy it glows, and you used to put it on, and your skin just felt tight. It used to beam. When I was like, I've been on a skin regimen since I was 25. So, of course, it worked so good they took it off the market, and you can't find anywhere. And Dr. Teal's, whom I had, this is the one thing, screw the iPhone and Apple and all this tomfoolery, but Dr. Teal's is the superior Epsom salt out there, right? They not only have a variation of different Epsom salt baths, from lavender if you want to relax and go to bed, to a sports bath with menthol, to spearmint eucalyptus, to pink Himalayan
I have
salt.
those in my spare bathroom.
It's amazing. Yes, it's amazing, right? So I would do an Epsom salt bath. However, it came in a tube about yay big, and it was called Dr. Teal's Vapor Bath. Now, I would dump half the thing in. I'm not recommending anyone do this. Please see your physician before exceeding the normal amount of Epsom salt. But I would dump half the thing in, get the water as hot as I could stand it, and just soak in that, and that was the best. Other than that, when I was in the WWE and in Impact, I never dieted. I don't stretch before matches. I really don't think about it until it's time to go out there. In fact, I oftentimes consider lacing my boots up or not, because it's a lot of to do that. So there you go.
That's why I got zippers on my boots.
Yeah, smart.
Oh, the boots are miserable. Matter of fact, I remember a common nightmare that I have had, and I think a lot of wrestlers have had this, is that your entrance music is playing, and you're late, and you can't get your boots laced up, and it keeps playing, and it goes through the whole song, and you still can't get your boots on. And this has been why didn't we bring that up to Lori when she was on the show? That has been a pervading dream that I've had my whole entire wrestling career. Yeah. Being late to get out there in the ring and not being able to get my boots on. So I specifically had zippers made for my stagecoach boots. I was just I can't even risk it. April was a badass in the ring.
Who cares?
Thank you.
They paid to see you. Make them wait. That you want my honest opinion? If I had that nightmare, I'd be like, they can friggin' wait until I get dressed. You know what I mean? Keep my music playing. It's the Hallelujah chorus. It's lovely.
Keon, I was a badass in the ring because guess who I got to be my bump bitch in school? How many times did I drag you in the ring and make you do stuff?
Yes. And I actually did. I stole that little.
Yeah.
I don't even have a name for it. And it was.
He stole my headhunter finish.
The headhunter, right?
I brought him in the room. Hey, I want to try something with you.
I would just call it the flippy do. I'd be like, I'm going to give you the flippy do neck breaker. We'll go. I didn't even have a friggin' name for it, but April invented it, and this is the public admission.
Thanks.
Yep.
Finally, after almost 20 years, I grab him, put him in the Kowalski ring. I'm like, I want to try this flipping neck breaker thing. So I do this thing, and he's like, oh, that's great. Next thing I know, he gets up the TV, and it's on TV. I'm like, that motherfucker. You got motherfucker left, right, and center. Yep. So then I had to start doing it off the corner, off of the middle rope, the top rope.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, my neck's messed up because of you. Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Well, sorry. You could have just invent something else. That's all you should have done. Just invented something else.
I invent stuff that I steal from Japan all the time.
Perfect. That was a badass neck breaker, though.
Kind of right. Mm-hmm. So people had to bump right for it. That was the trick. They had to get them to bump right for it. They had to go sideways and sell it.
Yeah, I remember one time. Yeah, someone
if they didn't bump right, they're
3 or 4 times, and they just didn't do it. And then I just laughed. Well, okay, that was a.
That's when you turn around and kick them and make them sell for real.
I was using my energy.
There you go.
So
all right. So for me, I would just. Basically, what you said, I'm not big. See the chiropractor, go easy the next day. Use a lot of ice, and I hate ice. Hate ice. But that is my balancing, I guess. Trying to do as little as possible when I would get on the road or get off the road. I remember coming back from WCW, and I would dump my bags by the washer and dryer, take stuff out, put it back in, refill my little stuff. Just put it by the door. It was just, I had you get this really tight routine. Mm-hmm. And it's, if anybody varies your routine, it throws you off, but it's a very to the minute routine with everything. car rental, check in, check out, your bags, all of it. So it operates very smoothly. And it's almost like I got to the point where I didn't even want to travel with anybody, even after I left wrestling, because I got so used to going to foreign countries by myself. I had like this whole routine. I get on the plane a certain way. I do this a certain way. I do that a certain way. And it's like, somebody is going to fuck up my flow. No,
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
No. Like I'd have stragglers with me, like not taking their shoes off or making fun of me because I have my little knapsack and taking it on the plane. It's like, go fuck yourself. I've been doing this for a long time. This works.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep. So true.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely. Like I was privileged enough to like really like my riding crew, like, yeah, there was the typical shenanigans, a lot of which I don't think we can discuss on the show, although some of it has been discussed on the Greg Gutfield show. But no, when it came to logistics, okay, and I'm just going to say this now because eventually I'll get called out on this. I don't like to drive. All right, no. All right, I'm going to be very, very honest. I have enough going on with the TV and the having to get to a gym and eat and all that stuff. I just don't drive on the road, okay?
One more thing's just going to break you.
Yeah, so I just don't drive on the road. Now, there's the whole thing, like there's the subculture in wrestling where it's like, oh, this is, these are the rules of the road and you don't sleep and you don't do this and you don't do that. And I can understand, right? Like some of them make sense. If there's two people in a car, you don't sleep. You make sure you get to the next town.
Yep.
Unless you get a pass, unless the driver says, yeah, just pass out whenever. That I completely agree with. But there's other stupid things that are just, they make no sense. Okay. So we're going to just back up, then go forward. I drove horribly. My partners were Santino and Brodus. I would now Tyrus on Fox, but like I would drive so bad and so horribly that after the first loop we did together, they're like, you know what? Just get in the back. We're going to take turns driving. But we would split everything three ways, right? We'd get 2 hotel rooms. We would alternate who gets their own room. We would split the rental car 3 ways, and we had it down to a science. Now, when you pull up late at night to a hotel and there's all these bags, right? Whoever bought the rooms for that night, because one guy would price line or hotwire the rooms, right? And we would alternate. It was a never ending thing. And
yeah, only this is the only pro sport where we have to pay for our own shit.
Oh yeah, yep.
So go
without a doubt. But we pull up to the Holiday Inn, right? Okay, let's say Brodus was driving. He would grab one of his bags, right? Go in and say, hey, like this is so and so. Start taking care of the logistics. Mm-hmm. One guy would then, let's say I would wake up from my slumber because I would sleep in the back. I would always sit sideways. That was my thing. We'd get the car and I was always like this. So I was passed up. And him and Santino and Brodus talked quite a bit. So they kept each other company. But I would take the bags from the car and put them on the sidewalk, right? So I would unload everything. Like Santino then would get in the car and drive to park. I would start hauling all the bags in. By the time that Santino was back, we would walk in the door together as I was carrying the last bag, be handed our hotel keys by Brodus. See you tomorrow.
It's a well-oiled machine.
There was no ego, like, oh, I'm carrying the bags or no, like this is how we're operating. This is what's going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yes, okay. All about the travel logistics.
All right. We got a second question. Which condiment is the most overrated?
You want to go, or do you want me to?
You go.
Define a condiment. When it comes to Chinese food, crab rangoon is a condiment. Okay.
What?
It's something you put on your sweet and sour, orange, or General's chicken. Crab rangoon is a condiment, in my opinion.
I think we're talking.
I know that aside. Okay, but in terms of the condiment world, if we say overrated, there's so many variables that go in, right? Like, Horseradish. Some people love it, right? There's let's say 30% of the people, would you say, or more, April, like
I
horseradish?
fucking love horseradish. Don't even go there.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I do too, in moderation, like a little bit on a
Yeah.
roast beef sandwich.
Yeah.
Amazing. But when I go into a diner, ketchup is the nectar of the gods. Especially in America, you got to have ketchup.
No.
Yep, gallons of it. Big things, giant ketchup with pictures of tomatoes on it, and the number 57 everywhere. And
broke my heart putting ketchup on my chicken eggs, my fresh, beautiful orange yolk chicken eggs with ketchup.
And they tasted amazing. But
whatever.
You got to have a hamburger, right? Ketchup on a hamburger, right? Little ketchup on a burger. What would McDonald's be without ketchup? The most successful fast food chain.
It would still be shit. That's shit, and it would still be shit.
However, whatever. Your opinion on McDonald's may or may not vary from April or mine. Actually, no, you got to probably agree with one of us. But, they made it, and I don't think that would have happened without ketchup. So ketchup and mustard, you can't say anything about them. Now, there's the French Dijon mustard, which, as an American, whatever. Mayonnaise is something that you can combine with ketchup and do it. Are we going to say relish is a condiment?
Relish is totally a condiment. Relish is pickles.
Okay, yeah. You can't screw with tartar sauce because who the hell would eat fish without tartar sauce? You can't eat the fried clams unless you got lemon and a lot of tartar sauce. Ranch from the Asia, right? Ranch dressing. Yes, ketchup on hot dogs. Who doesn't put ketchup on hot dogs? I don't.
It's gross. A Chicago dog, you do not put ketchup on that. No.
I have had hot dogs without ketchup. I haven't had a hot dog in over 10
Fred?
years.
No ketchup on a hot dog. You put some relish on it, some onion, some mustard, some moutarde, and you're good.
I will agree with you on that, but I have had ketchup on hot dogs in the past. And I haven't had a hot dog in 10 years, by the way. But the way, as my friend Matt's grandfather would say, to eat a hot dog is mustard, relish, and onions.
Yes.
He would say it just like that. That's the way.
That's called a Chicago dog right there.
We're not going to debate that, okay? We're not. That is how you have a hot dog. Now,
are we just name it, just so we don't use like half the show talking about this.
I'm thinking this is important. I'm thinking out loud. Like tartar sauce is like, again, you can't screw with tartar sauce because of fish, right? Like you have to have it on fish. Now, does that mayonnaise by itself? I'm gonna have to go with that. Plain mayonnaise by itself. It serves only to moisten the bread.
I hate that word.
Why do people hate that word so much?
I hate it. I don't know. I hate it.
I knew. Yes, you know what? Like way back in the day, I used to date a girl who hated that word. Like
it's just
God, over 10 years ago.
Yes, malt vinegar for fish. Thank you.
Ooh, malt vinegar.
Malt vinegar for fish and chips.
And tartar sauce. Sorry. You have them both.
Yeah, but malt vinegar is the shit.
Well, thank you. Yes, you know what? These are the discussions we need to have. So I'm going to say mayonnaise alone. All right?
Yes.
Alone.
I'm going to second that. I second that 100%.
Because here's the thing.
Mayonnaise is bleh.
But you need it to make tartar sauce. So mayonnaise as an ingredient in tartar sauce is a must. No, it's a must.
Just go to malt. Just go over its head to the supervisor, which is malt vinegar.
No. Malt vinegar.
And voila.
It's wonderful. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not an avid seafood eater. But the only way I will eat seafood, like, again, I haven't had a hot dog in over 10 years. I cannot tell you the last piece of fish that I ate. I have never gone out to a restaurant and ordered a piece of fish. But I can tell you this. I've ordered no, that's, again, it's a condiment. The last piece of fish that I've ate, I'm talking breaded and fried fish, right? Like fried haddock or cod or something like that. Because I've never eaten regular fish. So it's got to be fried. And it was served with lemon that I squeezed and put it on it, and a buttload of tartar sauce. Now, I will also eat fried clams. I had them at Malibu Seafood. They're wonderful. But you got to dip the clams, guess what? In tartar sauce after sprinkling a lemon on them. So mayonnaise alone, but tartar sauce stands in and of itself, and it's wonderful. And of course, the mayo ketchup mix, which is in my favorite thing to eat in the world besides Chinese food, La Tripleta sandwich from Puerto Rico, which is the ketchup and mayonnaise sauce that go on there. Oh. So that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. But of course, now I go to eatsensiblemeals.com and use code Aaron10 to save money on your first order. Thank you, Colin.
I think mustard is the most underrated condiment, and I think you can. Portugal, we eat a lot of fish. Yeah, a lot of places on the sea do. Like we don't because but yeah, I think mustard is the most underrated condiment because you need like all the different ones. You could have like the like you said, the Dijon, the typical yellow mustard goes on a Philly pretzel. You have the German grainy stuff, and you can cook with that to make all kinds of recipes. So mustard, to me, that's
dude on a pretzel. Yes.
You forgot all about that, huh?
Oh, no, you're right.
I'm from Philly.
And you got to have, the mustard is a must. Again, it's like ketchup.
Ew. Hot sauce.
Hot sauce. I've had people do that before. Yeah. I never super get into hot sauce, but I tell you what, a drop or two on your eggs. Yeah. Not bad. Like
more than a drop or two. I put it in the eggs when I scramble them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or on like French fries or something. Now, vinegar is very good on French fries. At Old Orchard Beach, where my family goes every year, they have the pier fries, very famous. And you put vinegar and ketchup and sometimes salt and pepper on them, and they're lovely.
I put a little hot sauce in my eggs with the cheese and heavy cream. And then I use jalapeno salt. So spice them right up. And some ground pepper. All right, so we'll move off of condiments, but yes.
Oh, wait a minute. No, cocktail sauce. I don't eat shrimp. I think shrimp is disgusting. So a big to cocktail sauce. By the way, I am starting a new trend right here, right now. This, and I gave a double this to the guy or the girl that makes the decision to update everything.
Hey, Rich Palladino. Sorry,
Rich, what the hell is going on? How are you? Oh my God.
It came right out.
No, that's okay. Rich,
I got excited. Rich is here.
We should have Rich on the show sometime.
We should, yeah.
Yeah, he could probably tell me a bunch of stories about me that I forgot.
He just lost a shitload of weight and looks totally different.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Rich.
He looks awesome.
I know.
But no. So God, I lost my train of thought. Rich was salmon.
Oh no, I'm not a salmon person.
Yeah, I'm not.
Smoked and with bagels and unless it's lox or sushi.
Yeah, but like no,
and my inner Jew is just like that's the only way.
No, it's God. I tell you what though, Jewish delis talk about some of the best food. That Schwartz's. Oh, you know what? We talk about mustard being underrated. Schwartz's Deli in Montreal. Do you know the place?
I do not. I don't go to Montreal.
Oh, all right. So look. If anyone listening within the sound of my voice right now knows Schwartz's Deli, just holler and Colin, please post it on there. When you are in Montreal, this has been on the Food Network. This has been on several things. But again, I have with Santino from Canada, spent a lot of time in Montreal, lived there for a hot minute. So like he smartened me up. Like when you're here, you go to Schwartz's Deli. And this place, they've been doing one thing, smoked meat sandwiches. You go in there. You go in there. No, you like Montreal smoked meat?
I just like smoked meat.
Well,
that's what she said kind of thing. Yeah, but that's good. Yeah.
These are the MFers that invented it.
Okay.
Because the people that smoke meat all put Schwartz's Deli over. So when you go there, these people are so over. Everyone thinks, oh yeah, In-N-Out, there's only so many things off the menu. No. And again, by the way, there we go. Thank you. Yep. That's it. That's it. And you just saw everything on the menu. I'll get back to the thumb biting in a second. But when you go there, hello, what would you like to drink? I'll have a water. I'll have a Diet Coke. Just whatever, right? Like there's your regular beverage options, okay? The waiter or waitress takes your order. And then immediately after that, there's just a plate of pickles. They bring a plate of pickles. And you start cutting the pickles and eating them. Then after that, they just bring this giant thing of smoked meat and they just don't even say it, lay it on the table. And then a giant tray of bread, boom. And you each have your own plate and a little knife and fork. and you just start grabbing slices, doing it. You have the option of getting fries, but hardly anyone ever does.
Mm.
But the one other thing that they bring you is like a little bowl, about yay big, full of mustard. And to put a little bit of mustard on that, not a lot, you just a little bit on one side of the bread, and you put the pickle. Amazing. Mustard makes the whole thing.
Gotcha. All right. It's a life goal now. I'm gonna plan on that.
You have to. If you are ever in Montreal, go there.
Let's shift gears for a minute because I'm getting hungry. So, all right. So there were two other things we wanted to. Well, there were a bunch of things we wanted to talk about, but there are two other things we were going to talk about. Which one do we want to do first? Okay, so we'll do that. What?
No, go ahead.
Oh, you were going to go to the thumb thing. Do that, and then we'll come back to
so essentially,
connect. We'll talk about human connection next.
Wonderful. Well, so this is a perfect segue to it. So
there you go.
So again, the middle finger, we all know what that means. I'm not going to say that, right? And I have used a few more cuss words on the show than normal. But you know what? It's been a very emotional day with my computer and everything, and with forces.
Hey, technology brings out the best in us.
The thumb bite back in the day was the worst thing you could do. It was like if you decided to grow a third arm and a hand and give 3 middle fingers times 1,000. It is horrible. It's awful. In fact, Romeo and Juliet, this is the human connection segue. See how good I am? It started off with a thumb bite. One of the Montagues or Capulets, or vice versa, one of them, let's say, I think it was the Montagues, went like this. And in Shakespeare, who bites my thumb at thee? And bam, we're off. And the next thing we know, there's a dagger, there's poison, and we have 2 dead people in their prime that just wanted to make a human connection. So I just explained the thumb bite. I explained, human connection. I tied it all in. So from this point on, and if you want to flip someone off, but you can't.
Well done.
If you want to tell someone F you can be standing in line. If you got to rude someone at the airport, bank tag, no, I didn't do anything. Sorry. I thought I had something in my tooth. It's 10 times worse than going like that. And it's therapeutic.
It's only 10 times worse than going like that if people understand it.
No, it's like the swearing documentary. It is an internal release.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So fair enough.
Yeah.
I like, bless your heart. Honestly, I swear all the time. Anybody who knows me, I use swears like people use salt and pepper and hot sauce. Like I use them very liberally. And I feel that they are the seasoning of the English language. But when I get real angry, I get calm and I stop swearing. And it's weird. It's really weird. Have you ever noticed that? How it goes down and it's like, well, let me tell you how I feel right now.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll duly know. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah. So when I'm happy and I'm swearing. So yeah, I never understood. Somebody told me the other day that they didn't watch Dexter because that woman on there, that mousy looking woman on that show, every other word out of her mouth was nothing but a swear. It was so offensive. I could not watch her. And I was like, you realize somebody wrote that fucking character, right? Somebody wrote her to be that way because she was a cop trying to be a detective in a man's world. So when you are in a man's world, you have to be more manly than they are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Therefore, you got to be not offended by things and okay to pee outside and say all the swears. You know what I mean? But I didn't even feel like getting into that with that person. I was just
it was like that in wrestling, though, for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everybody to female. So we all change in the locker room, including me.
But
I said we all go outside and pee, including the girl, the token female. So I found very subtle ways to change in front of everybody else where they didn't even know I was changing in front of them or peeing in front of them. So it was pretty miraculous. It really, it really, really was. It really was. It's like a towel. You do the towel thing, and you just shimmy
That's an art.
down, shimmy back up, and clip.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, speaking of human connection, I thought this was really interesting. Okay, so how do I preface this? When people connect in a male-female relationship, they connect on 4 different levels. So they connect on a mental level, an emotional level, a spiritual level, and then on a physical level. So typically, like in a dating situation, if you're female and a man is moving really slowly with you, the more slowly he moves, the more he likes you. Now, this is not helping you, but I'm talking to the females out there. The more slowly he moves, the more he likes you, because he's invested in you mentally, emotionally, maybe spiritually, but not physically. And he's afraid to screw that up because he's got this other bigger connection with you. So whereas if he is just sleeping with you and he's just got a physical relationship with you and no other connection, it doesn't mean as much. So when you do have these things and you go through a breakup with somebody, it's actually physically painful. You feel it for so many reasons. You've lost those connections, that mental, emotional, spiritual, physical.
Huh.
And you've also lost your identity in a way. So if you were somebody's wife or girlfriend or husband or boyfriend, or you were their, kid's stepmom or stepdad, you had a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, you like the family, all of a sudden that's all pulled away. There could be pets involved, the whole thing. So you've lost this identity in addition to this mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional connection. And it creates, there's more feeling there, like more, it's tougher than we realize. So it's hard for us to sometimes understand why it hurts so much.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to explain that this is why it kind of throws us for a loop. And this is why some people move very slowly. This is why some people have a lot of fear. We might not be able to know or be able to break it down into these things, but that's what's going on.
Wow.
So does that make sense?
That's incredible. Yeah, and it does, because like I've had one like really bad breakup, again, where you're like emotionally going through stuff. It was like right before I moved out here, and it's funny how you process things, and at the time, but like see right where, and that like I've never had like when it comes to dating, okay, I am legitimately probably like 15 years behind where I need to be. Because, at 30 something, I forgot how old, it was a couple of years ago, so whatever. You go through a breakup and you're like, wait a minute, what is all this? Like, how dare this happens this way? And no, this isn't. Like, I was really in a very interesting place and had to kind of develop that late in life. But ultimately, it gave me a way better perspective because all the other stuff I was learning kind of fused with it. And you go from there. But it really, really does explain why I felt the way I felt, because I maybe had never had that connection with someone like that. Mm-hmm. So who knows? Mm-hmm. Who knows? But luckily, everything worked out.
Yeah, I remember having I remember one breakup of mine being really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And when I look back on it, it's not because it was a tremendous loss like him. It was because of, hey, what's up? It was because of everything surrounded. So he had 2 children, and one I was very close with, and he had a really great family, and I was close with them. So it was more like, for me, it was losing the identity of being a stepmom, of having that family unit, of knowing where I was going to be eating dinner on Sundays. Oh yeah. And for somebody that doesn't live a normal life or a stable life, having that normal stability with the step kid. The family and the dinners, all of a sudden I was like, I go from that to just here, and it's like, oh my God, what just happened? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that is what threw me into like a really bad, I guess, depression for a couple of months. So, but most of the other breakups have been like, typical. like, I'll get over it
Yeah.
real quick.
And I know it's like, this is a serious topic, and I am being serious, but when people want me to be more me, I'm going to give a typical me response.
Give a
There was
typical you
line in a
response now.
movie- there was a line in a movie, and I can't remember right now who did it, but it was, at the end of the day, evil will always triumph over good because good is dumb. So
Okay.
now I do not believe that statement to be true at all. In fact, I believe the exact opposite, right? I'm not going to get spiritual, but light cannot exist. Darkness cannot exist where there is light, but light can exist in the darkness. Not going to go down that rabbit hole. But what I am saying is, in that the spirit of that comment, I was on the same page with you, into where like you have this like sense of, especially like, because not living in Massachusetts and like this whole family thing, and again, amazing people, truly, like think about them a lot. But
excuse me.
At the end of the day, like, this is me we're talking about, trying to have a normal, stable life. So in the spirit of that movie quote, at the end of the day, what did you call the, was it not freedom, but the ups and downs, you said your life was not stable. It was what?
Put me on the spot. I don't know.
Let's say hectic then.
Hectic, instability.
Yes. At the end of the day, the insanity will always triumph over stability for me, because stability is dumb.
It's boring.
In the sense of
but sometimes
what's that?
Nice.
No,
I was just gonna say stability sometimes is nice. There's a balance there.
You do want to have a balance, right? But for me, right, my personal balance right now, this is not to say people who have stable lives are all dumb. Absolutely not. On the contrary, because what is, in your resting state, there will always be an element of chaos, right? People that have families are going to be worried about their children. People who are single are going to be worried about like where they're going to go party on Friday. Like, worry exists no matter where you're at. So in that, and I'm getting a bit philosophical here, but follow me on this. In that state, right, we will always have chaos in some degree. So this statement is like, it's more of a testament to take the side road. Don't be afraid to be in the moment. And if your life is presenting an opportunity, if you have, you're driving and your car says, hey, your tire's low, you need to pull off and get some air. You pull off and get some air, and there's a sign that says best peach ice cream in Georgia. Right? Try it. That's the kind of stuff. It could be that simple. Okay. Just little things. If you want to grab your significant other or children and say, let's just go for a walk while the sun's setting, that can be the sporadic nature. All right. Because some people have to be more organized. Some people need, there's no shame. Like, I'll admit this. I can fit everything I own in the trunk of my car and get the hell out of town whenever I want. And I have lived like that pretty much my whole life. I have never owned a home because I don't want the taxes and the payments, because to me, it makes no sense. Right. So the chaos in my life, which can be absolute chaos sometimes, and I can do this and that, but I've set myself up that way. And there are other people who set themselves up with families or anything else that they wouldn't have those issues, but they can still take that philosophy and just be random. Like that random time when like your child asks you to stay up late and it's a non-school night. Why not? Stay up and play board games with them. You know what I mean? Make hot chocolate.
I can't tell you how many people don't do that. Like, they're just not able or willing to. It's weird.
Yes. Yes. Look, a properly maintained schedule is something that.
Screw it. I'll sleep when I'm dead. If this is good.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. And I'm saying, like, a properly maintained schedule is something that is very important. But like, you said sleep, right?
Yeah, but our schedule's also sometimes overrated. It's like, if something really cool is going on, there's an opportunity. Screw it, I'll sleep when I'm dead. So
Absolutely.
this is a thing
Yes.
right here, you know.
Yes.
Here's an opportunity to go do something or hang out or have sex all night or what. Just I'm staying up. So, you know.
Like, no, you're 100% right. And now again, consult your doctor, but like if you're out late at night, I'm not advising people to consult your doctor before consuming more caffeine. But oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're out for a walk and there's a concert at a park. Oh, let's go and let's look at the concert. No, we got to get home because, it's Friday night and we have to get up early to make breakfast at 7 a.m. sharp. No. Like,
right.
Look at the concert. Just take it in. Like, always do that. Like always stop if an opportunity presents itself. Grab a coffee, grab a 5-hour, and just – because I tell you what, sleep lasts about 8 hours if you're lucky and you can't remember any of it. Memories last forever.
It's true. And people die all the time. Do you want to die knowing that you kept to your schedule of getting up at 7 a.m, or do you want to die going, I saw everything I could possibly see and I did everything I could possibly do? So there's that. What was I going to say? Oh, so Henry Rollins said, he's on.
He's a liar.
He's a liar. He was on the road a whole lot. He still is. And he wrote this story that I just fell in love with called The Iron. Now, if you haven't read this, I would highly suggest you Google it and look it up. It's a short story. And it talks about how he was a skinny kid and how his coach put him in the gym. And that discipline has followed him for his entire life. And no matter where he is, whether he is in Nigeria or Boston or south of France or Kyoto, he will go to a gym and it is familiar to him. He gets his familiarity from the weights because he said no matter where you go, 200 pounds is always 200 pounds.
Yeah. Wow.
Of course,
that's
sometimes
cool.
it's in kilograms, but hey.
That's cool. That's
so
definitely something I can dig.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, it just really kind of resonated with me from, like sometimes we'd wake up. I remember buying this little stuffed animal thing. We had a tour schedule and every day was a different city, we're in Bucharest, we're in this, we're that, we're back in London, we're in, Toulouse. And I woke up in the morning, I was freaking confused. I'm like, I don't know where I am or what's going on. I stopped at a little rest stop somewhere in France and I bought this little stuffed animal that had little orange braids. And I put it on the night table next to me of whatever hotel I'm in. So first thing I would do, it's in my car now. So first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I would look over and see it. And I'm like, all right, that's familiar. I know I'm not kidnapped or anything. So that's familiar.
Wow. No, hey, you know what? What a cool thing. Yeah.
That thing was my traveling gnome. I put it everywhere and took pictures with it.
Yeah.
So it became my Amelie. I would put it somewhere and be like,
oh my God. Hell yeah. That's wonderful.
So anyway, so there's that. This past week, I think it was this past week, the Congress decided to keep Obamacare in play. There was talk forever now of getting rid of Obamacare, and that is not going to happen, apparently. So one of the things that I don't know if people consider this or for whatever you feel about Obamacare, whether you're yay or nay, one of the really great things that did come from that is that it got rid of pre-existing conditions. It used to be really difficult to get insurance if you had pre-existing conditions, or they would ding you like crazy before. This got rid of it. So I was wondering how that would work out if we were on the old system with COVID now, because so many people have had COVID, and then you have these issues that are long lasting afterwards, like lung issues and depression and mental health issues and all this stuff that happens after you've been sick that stems a year and a half down the road, maybe longer. Mm-hmm. If we didn't have that pre-existing condition thing where they got, where they axed it, that might have been why they kept it too. People would not be able to get insurance like at all.
Yeah.
Or would be on COBRA rates. And I don't know if people recognize this and understand this, or if they just look at, it's socialized or whatever. I don't want to pay for somebody else's. Mm-hmm. Understand the whole pre-existing condition thing and then maybe think about that, because there's more to some of these laws than we realize.
Yeah, do your own research and draw your own conclusions.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something we can go into a whole lot more maybe on the next show, because I had to do, in my journalism class, I had to do a bit of a dissertation on the sustainability of Obamacare from a business point of view. So how it affects America regarding things like workman's comp and being able to leave job and this, how it affects businesses as far as being able to compete in the United States versus the businesses out of the United States that don't have to worry about paying for healthcare, and why a lot of businesses are leaving the United States because of that. So
you know what? That's a great topic. I mean, oh, wait a minute. The peck twitch means that we're running out of time. Here we go.
Actually, we're not, because we have to go a wee bit longer because of we were asked to stay a little longer on Twitch, I believe.
Oh, we were. Oh my God, that's a great thing. Well, then we're going to stay on. All right, sorry, that was a false.
Okay.
It was the first one.
It was a false Twitch.
Yep, it was a false Twitch.
It was a false Twitch for Twitch.
Oh, you know what? Twitch, can we do that? We would. The peck twitch is that's our thing. So
that's our sign off.
Twitch, the peck twitch signals that'll be out of time. So from now on, whenever y'all just start, when you see this.
All right, and
we're running out of time, but we're not running out of time yet.
Okay, you wanted to talk about capital gains tax?
No, I tell you why. I had a tweet a little while ago. I wanted to see how people reacted.
Okay.
I agree with the statement, and I will absolutely talk about the capital gains tax. That's no issue at all. But I put the tweet out there because I don't tweet stuff like that all the time. I wanted to see where somewhere just Twitter was at. Like, how would they engage it? And I would say a lot of people, they really did. Like, hey, well, did you know this? Or I agree. Or I respectfully disagree. And some people would give reasons. Some people wouldn't. But there was one jackass on there. And he was like, hey, this is why you're not with WWE anymore. You are an ex-WWE has-been.
Wow. And somebody always has to be abusive, don't they? They don't understand that that's actually abusive.
Which is fine. No, well, again, hey, if you're a public figure, you're immune from all that. Because guess what? Some people, there's money in that. Like, be
happy you're not married to that guy.
Yeah, I know. Social media is an outlet that, it allows people to vent, right? If it's done under circumstances, right? Like, you're a public figure. You can crap on public figures all you want, right? Yeah. But, someone go, oh, you offended me. Well, you know what? Public figures have feelings too. Fortunately for that jackass, I know where I'm at in life, and I'm actually doing really well. And he used a double negative. So if I'm an ex-WWE has-been, that means I have evolved into the next state of being. So to you. And no, but what I did appreciate for the most part, people really did. Like, they said, hey, like, it wasn't volatile. Again, that guy and then one other fool, I believe, maybe. But no, I was so glad to see people just discussing things and raising points and, hey, like, an exchange of ideas, an exchange of information. That's what I think is missing. There was a Freemason commercial several years ago, put out by the Grand Lodge of Boston, I believe, or Grand Lodge of Massachusetts. Forgive me, any brothers that are listening. But it was a guy playing Ben Franklin, and he said, we need people that can give honest debate to the great issues. Mm-hmm. And that, again, for those of you that engaged in that tweet and we had some honest debate, thank you. And for those of you that didn't, you're a bully. And you know what? Eventually, I don't care because, I have thick skin, so you ain't going to get in. And in the future, you'll probably react like that to something emotionally. And at some point, you'll be called out. And look, bullying's not okay. And you know what? I do think a good thing about today, and not just today. I mean, I think this has been a very fun show, by the way. This is one of our better ones, I believe. But I do think a good thing about today, we are aware that it's fully. the fact of like, hey, this isn't acceptable, or the discussion of, hey, like, it's like different groups of people. We're more aware, and there is a point. Now, I am not a snowflake. Don't get it twisted. But we are more aware of cultural issues, of social issues. Like, it's not okay to pick on someone because they look different, because they're a few pounds heavier, or a few pounds skinnier, or what have you. Like that way of being more sensitive, I think, is great, because at the end of the day, we don't have to get people's feelings hurt. And that's a good thing. Now, to some people, right, if that's all they grew up in, if their household is like that, how do they know that that's not what life is? Because when you're a younger kid, if you have bullying going on in your household, and depending on your parents' relations, like, how would you know what's normal? But now, just in general, like, a lot of people, from my observation, like, yeah, everyone knows that this is not okay to do. And I think that's great. And now, again, snowflakes, beware. No, you got to have common sense. But I know I went off on a tangent there, but I feel that really did need to be said. That was my serious part for today.
No, I'm with you. I have a very tight inner circle, and they're the only ones who matter to me as far as opinions, because I don't think, somebody once said the wolf does not concern himself with what the sheep think. Yeah. And I think that's the mentality you kind of have to take, even though I think of myself more as a sheepdog than a wolf or a sheep. But that's the mentality you have to take if you're going to stay sane and be in the public eye, is you can't worry so much about what people think of you, because it's kind of like, if you pay attention to your distractions will own you. So if you pay attention to what people say, they'll own you. If you're working for likes, you compromise your art, because you start making things that people like rather than what's inside of you, what moves you. That's why when we were talking about writing that show, we write what we like, not what people want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, because if we like something, other people will like it too, I think. We don't know what other people like. We know what we like. And there's people out there who are like us that like what we like. That's one thing we know, is what we like. So, I don't know. I think I do find it amusing that the people who cry about bullies the most usually are the ones that are bullying others. So, that's amusing to me.
Absolutely. And that's the snowflakes I'm talking about. See, a snowflake, in my opinion,
hurt people.
Yeah, it doesn't take. Look, if someone is truly sensitive and they truly believe, if their credo is it is not okay to call people names, and someone calls someone a name, but they then call that person a name, like, they justify it because it's for the no, you gotta, for those that pick a side and say, you know what, they choose like that, hey, no, that take the high road, keep doing what you're doing, because you know what, we all need to get better at understanding people, like letting each other know where the other side is coming from, right? But a snowflake is someone who thinks that they subscribe to this complete and total ideology. And by the way, if it's like a total one thing, usually there's some issues there. Like, let's use common sense, like we said. But they subscribe to this ideology, but they then, use what they are fighting against to put out into the world. That's not okay. And they're so offended if someone was to come back and call them something. That is not okay. And that is what a snowflake is. Melts under pressure, melts in the heat. Fine floating around the air, but can't take it to the street.
I don't even understand how people are so offended by words these days. It just drives me crazy. It's like, all right. So I love swear words. And I will never understand how people are offended by swears. I just don't get it. Like, you can tell somebody, sorry for the people that don't like swears. You can call somebody a cunt and nothing changes. Yeah. It's an English saying. That is gender neutral, by the way, in some countries. But wait. I'm going somewhere with this. But I feel like the really, really bad words are things like cancer and Parkinson's and divorce and diabetes. So you call somebody to see you next Tuesday, nothing really changes in the world. You stop being a drama queen, you snowflake. Now you tell somebody they've got cancer their entire world collapses. So which word matters more? Which C word changes for the perspective?
Huh?
Really? Come on, seriously.
You just said the mother of all. We all know that there is a swearing order out there. Okay, now that swearing order. Okay.
Would I just triple down dare you?
Well,
I dropped the order.
We haven't April. I know I may be long-winded at times, but I'm going to say something. We haven't even gotten to the middle of this ladder, let alone the top. Okay.
I triple dog dared you. I was
just sitting here on my podcast and minding my own business when all of a sudden I heard that word, that the mother grand nuclear, like greater than a nuclear bomb spaceship with a laser beam, earth obliterating word.
I'm disagreeing. I'm disagreeing. This is a term of endearment in other countries. Listen, the last thing Billy Butcher said to the kid when the kid's being taken off, he goes, "Remember what I told you, kid?" And the kid goes, "Don't be a cunt." And he's like, "Yeah."
But no. I am coming to you from the perspective, and again, we're not being snowflakes here, and whatever gender you want to identify with is fine. But this is one of those things that it's not. No, if you are a man, if you are born with, male unit, you do not use that word. I think that word. That word transcends all that. Now, if you're English, you can say the word all you want.
No, I disagree. I think you can use it. Doesn't matter who you are. It depends on how you use it.
In the UK, you say the word all the time. Everyone's fine. But as we know, I was going to say, there's a hierarchy of swears. Mm-hmm. So swears vary geographically, where in the UK, if you're
a man, you can use it. No, okay. So
absolutely.
So let me as a female, as a gendered identified female, let me tell you how you use it and how you don't use it. You walk into a room full of buddies. This is your guys, right? Or you get your rental car with your guys. You're like, "Sup, cunts? This is okay. We're good."
No.
Now your girlfriend gives you a bunch of shit, and you're like, "Why are you acting like a cunt? This is not okay. That is not okay." It's all in how you use it.
No. I that's one of those things where there are words like that. Okay. Now the English, again, they use it that way. But in terms of the fabric of society, we are going to concentrate on the region of North America right now. Because guess what? Just like in the wrestling days, there's territories of swears and there's hierarchies. Okay. In Massachusetts, in the Northeast, okay, where we both were born in the Northeast. Hell, because you could say hell if you're like talking about God stuff, and it was okay to say, like, I'd ask my questions about hell because I thought it was funny as a 5-year-old or 6, however old I was, to keep saying hell. Mm-hmm. Damn. Okay, so there's hell, damn. Mm-hmm. Goddamn.
That was a big no. That one was a big one.
No, not in the Northeast.
Oh, okay.
Not in the North. No, I'm getting there. So no, there was hell, then GD. I won't say it again. Then the word shit, and then there was the FUCK word, which I won't even pronounce, right? And that was the hierarchy of swears there.
Okay,
that's the Northeast. When I went to Louisville, because if you watch Trailer Park Boys and like everything, people say, "Oh, this goddamn thing," and what the if this goddamn. My grandfather was the most holy man I knew. I mean, literally, the guy had faith, true faith, and I mean that. I'm not being funny. He really was the most faith. Like till the day when he got diagnosed, he's like, "Oh no, I know where I'm going. I feel like I'm going on vacation." It was amazing, but he would use GD all the time. Okay,
Aron afraid of going to hell with gas pants on.
Again, an excuse to type hell. It was fun when I was a kid. It was fun to say the word hell when I could. But my grandfather used GD all the time. When I moved to Louisville, I was talking to someone that was a Louisville native. And this and that. And I got to go. I get my goddamn oil changed again. Like, what? And excuse me. What I said? Like, did I offend you? You said that's the Lord, because it was more the Bible Belt, right?
The Lord's name in vain. You couldn't say it at my house either.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Philly was kind of halfway between.
It's not Philly. It depends on like.
Oh, you're in the backwoods, right?
Well, no. What you're saying? Because I was country, you can't say it.
No. But like what I'm saying geographically, because in Massachusetts, no. But in Massachusetts, no. That's a soundbite right there. We need to do that. Do that again. Get some clear sound of that.
God damn!
There we go. We're gonna use that later. I know we are.
Oh God, that's Georgia.
No. The hierarchy. You took the GD word out, and I still don't say it now because like I'm trying to be mindful, but like, and that automatically went above the F word. So you could use the F word, but you didn't say GD. Now,
and in France they have, or in Montreal they have tabernacle, which is also religious. We like our religious swears.
Yep.
Tabernacle.
Above all of those areas geographically hangs
hanging in space.
A giant sphere. A silver sphere. With a laser beam and a ray gun type thing. Mm-hmm. That hovers above all those swear words. And that sphere starts with a C and ends with a T. And that is as close as I will ever get. And as an American male, and this is, we're talking in North America, okay? Again, in England, we're not, for those of you listening overseas, we're not including you. I'm describing to you what this is. In North America, if you say that word, regardless of socioeconomic status, gender, well, no, the gender thing, but ethnicity, rate, like wherever you come from, wherever your if you say that word and you are a man and a woman is present, you don't even have to be talking. You could be standing 5 feet away and say that word. And say that word in a different conversation with your back to them.
Yeah.
And again, all type geographically, socioeconomic status, race, religion, everyone. And if that word is heard by a woman, if a man utters that word and it is heard by a woman, shit's about to take place.
See, that's why I love it. It's so controversial.
No. But April, no, this is me as, again, an American male.
Okay, somebody asked where I'm from. So I was born in Philadelphia, but we're military. So I grew up kind of all over. But my mom's family is from Philadelphia. So I consider that home. But I kind of grew up everywhere. So I don't know. I grab a little bit of all kinds of, nature and nurture, all that. And I'm a mix of everything now.
But in that mix, you will at least acknowledge. You don't have to agree with. Like, I'm not trying that.
I acknowledge that you are correct, but I also acknowledge that's why it's so wonderful.
You're right. This show's about honest discussion. But I want everyone to know that this woman right here just acknowledged that everything I said is true, regardless.
Yes, it is true. You are right. You're right.
Do not say that word.
And I like that word so much that my Comic Con guys, one of whom is going to be on at the end of the month, and he's a detective, so we're going to get some true crime stories from him as well. My comic book guys, both of them, without even knowing that they did this, I have not one, but 2 necklaces that say CUNT on them, and one of them is in a Scrabble. It's a Scrabble necklace, and I wear it. So I have to be careful where I wear it, but I wear it.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Have you? I love it.
And the thing is, here's the one division. It is. This is the one thing where people are gender. And look, again, people are identifying as different genders and everything else, right? We have all this going on. Let's be more accepting of who people are as individuals. However, this does not apply for this word, because if a man utters it for any reason, like even if I read your necklace out loud like another woman would hear it, and I could just be, oh, that necklace says bleep. But if another woman was hearing it, and the fact that I said that word, I could have a fist upside my head, be screamed at, have someone else like Instagramming it, like look at, oh, this man just said the C word, like.
I just want you to know I use this word liberally with my female friends, and they don't even cringe.
Because you can say it because you're women. All right, that's something women can say. Women can
Here's the
say
thing.
women.
April doesn't have a huge filter, which I love. Yeah, I don't have a fucking filter at all. Like nothing. Actually, okay, I have a selective filter when I'm around kids. Like it's like kids, work things, boyfriends, moms, old people. I don't know. Something automatically happens to something happens and the swear shut off, and it's not even conscious. It just happens. But like every other situation, huh?
Congratulations, because that is the same feeling as every single American born and raised male, or even American, you don't even have to be born, but American culturally understanding male. I'm just bringing it today. Marvelous. They wanted me to bring it, and so I'm like, okay, I'm bringing it. You wanted to, this is it. This is the show. If you guys are digging it. So
you guys can't say a lot, right? So here's the thing. So this is funny. So I was somewhere and I saw this girl with enormous boobs, enormous, and there was guys all around me, and I'm the only one.
Wasn't the mirror aisle at Home Depot, was it?
Huh?
It wasn't the mirror aisle at Home Depot, was it?
No, hers were way bigger than mine. So I'm the only one staring at this girl. She's a beautiful girl, huge titties. All the guys are just like, da, 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 they're doing their thing. They're like, whatever. I'm like, holy shit. So I remember saying to my friend, finally, I'm just like, I know he's going to stare. I'm just like, hey, 3:00. So he finally gave in, and he's like, oh yeah. So like, how do you guys not do that? Like, you guys have perfected the art of looking without looking. Because I can't do it. Like, if I see that, I'm just like, I have to do it. I might even walk up to the girl and be like, oh, your breasts are phenomenal. Like, I will just do that shit. Like I said, I've got no filter. I don't know how you guys don't do that stuff. I know if you walk up to a girl and say, your breasts are phenomenal, she'll just be like, oh, creeper, get the fuck away from me. But like,
absolutely. You would never say that to anyone. Like, I would know. You would never, ever do that.
But I do that. So, that's weird.
But the thing is, that filter you have with kids and stuff, that is what is ingrained in every American male's head. You just don't do it. The one man, you guys want to hear a wrestling story? And I'm sorry, I don't want to get up, but I will tell.
Yeah, we'll do that, and then I have a little good news story to tell, and then we'll be done.
Colin, how are our fans doing? Do they want to hear a wrestling story? Let them know in the chat.
They definitely want to hear a wrestling story, Aaron. They're here for it.
One time that I saw that word used. The one time. Now, again, females can say this to females. Females can say this to males. Males cannot say this around with an audio visual of any female, no matter what, no matter the context, nothing. If you say this to someone you're with, like a wife, that is grounds for divorce. There was a wrestling promoter by the name of Mike Sparta.
Sparta.
And we were at an armory. I was about 19. And, Mike, Mike, God, everyone has a Mike Sparta story. I will say this. I learned more on Mike Sparta shows than it was the best environment I could have been in. And I'm sorry to say this. At that point, it was better than chaotic because I was getting booked with like Chris Candido and everybody. So it wasn't about like the thing. It was just about like me getting in the ring with people. I owe that to Mike Sparta. So I'm not, not speaking up against the man, but I'm telling you what happened. He got in a fight with someone. I believe it was the woman he was with, and was standing on the back of a U-Haul truck and just used the word. And I remember every single woman in there, and these were the women it was at an armory. Like, so I think there was a female soldier there, and they were, oh, hell no. And then there was issues. Like, because the female was offended, as she literally had every single right to be. So she goes and tells her commanding officer, and there was like multiple people there, and there was I don't know if they were military police, but it was like definitely like the security one. There was the female, a dude, like the commanding officer, and then someone else who was the muscle. And they were talking to Mike, and I think the person was something like that. If it wasn't her, it was like just a random girl at the show. But they got them cornered, and like the National Guard was involved when I heard that word being said. Literally, like America, the government got involved in this because
That's
the word was so,
alarming.
and like, yeah, you just got to watch your language, and and he's I rented this effing thing out, and all those swears are fine, but even he knew, like, all right, I shouldn't have said that word, because he didn't use the C word again, but he would yell and scream, but it was because of that word that because they were fighting for a while. The National Guard got involved. That is how serious that word is. Just saying.
Okay. Well, there's the grand master of swears.
And you know what? Again, Mike Sparta, in the long run, was very good to me. And not a lot of people, I don't think, will say that. People will clown on him and stuff. And, hey, we all have our own character traits. But as a talent, he always, I wasn't making money, but I was learning, and it served me better in the long run. So let that be a lesson, for people cutting your teeth in anything. Sometimes you may get an opportunity to not make the money you want, but if it's an experience that you can get and you can become better, if you can work with better people, right? It doesn't just go for the ring, it goes for life, right? If you can be around and work with better people, it will only make you better. So always think long term, in my opinion.
Makes sense. Good advice. So, do you know what this is?
It's an iPhone.
No, can you see that? Can you see what that
Yes,
is
I know.
at all?
It looks like a shield of some type.
Nope, smaller.
I haven't the slightest.
Let me see if I can enlarge it.
Is that the planet Earth?
Nope. It is. Hang on. That is something called bone music. So I just learned about this today from my LA writers group. So do you know what that is? Okay.
I think my definition of that would be very different than the one.
I know. What you just saw
to get out there. It had to be said.
What you just saw was an X-ray turned into a record. So it's the most in World War II, post-World War II Russia, Stalin banned the possession of any Western music. So all records allowed in the country had to be Russian composers. But there was an underground, very hungry for popular Western music. So an ingenious... Huh?
I would have personally stuck with Rachmaninoff.
An ingenious solution to that problem began to emerge in the form of bone music, which was also called bones and rib music, or simply ribs. So a young 19-year-old sound engineer named Ruslan Bogoslavsky, I might be saying that wrong, in Leningrad, changed the game when he created a device to bootleg Western albums so he could distribute them across Russia. The problem was he couldn't find any vinyl at all. There wasn't anything available. And there's no petroleum products available in Russia either. So he got the idea because he stumbled upon a pile of discarded X-rays. So he thought that he would try and get the music into the X-rays, and it worked. The Russian law mandated that all X-rays had to be destroyed after 1 year of storage because they were flammable. So he dug through trash bins, paid off orderlies, and for 20 years, he handmade about 1 million bootlegs on the X-ray film of everything from classical to the Beach Boys. And he eventually had to spend 5 years imprisoned in Siberia for this rebellion. That was the only way Russian music lovers could get their Western music, was off of this.
Wow.
Right there. Yep.
Oh, man. That is cool.
I know. I thought that was a really, really fascinating story.
Man.
Imagine no good deed goes unpunished, right?
Oh, wow. Wow.
So let's hear it for the unsung hero that brought the music to the people.
And again,
So-
a lesson in media censorship.
Yeah, we don't. We need to be careful. It all starts with something small and just keeps going. You build a precedent. So therefore, I will continue to say the C word as much as humanly possible because
you can, because you are a woman. You were born a woman and had a female experience. I cannot think about, if I think about saying that, my body has a biology. Like I'll get
if you're British, you'd have no problem, or Australian, or New Zealand, or.
But that is the zing that word has. I mean, it's oof.
So before we go, I will mention that I'm in the LA area in a couple of weeks, a 20-something-ish. I want to say it's like the 26th. It's that Sunday, July 20, like the 26th. I'll be signing at the Wrestling Guy store. You can look that up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. The Wrestling Guy store. It's in the Los Angeles area. I'll be there, I think, from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. So I never get out to the West Coast. So if you're out there, this is probably your rare shot to come see me. I hope you do, because I would like to see you. And I will be in West Palm Beach, which is another area I almost never get to. That will be the end of August for UltraCon. So I'm also in New York again for something in September. So these are all areas I have not been back to in a long time. So I'm really looking forward to that. Got anything coming up that we need to know about?
Well, NWA, of course. We got the all women's pay-per-view Empowerment, and then we got our NWA Wrestling to Chase pay-per-view. Right, we haven't been at the Chase. There has not been wrestling at the Chase in 30 years, and promoters have tried to get in where they fit in, but they didn't fit in at the Chase. But now NWA, that's going to be the place. And trust me when I say this event is going to knock it in outer space, because we are with the stuff that's being planned is absolutely amazing. And you guys are definitely going to want to check it out. It really, this is the next level. This is really the next level. So we're happy about it.
Awesome. Do we have any, Colin, we have any questions? And I saw that about WrestleCade. If you guys want to see us anywhere, just get online and ask for us, or get on the events and ask for us.
Oh my God, we could do a podcast from WrestleCon, because here's the thing. I'm horrible at those things. Or I don't even know the friggin' name of it, right? So that's how bad I am.
North Carolina.
Yeah, that is how. Oh, my hair looks terrible. That's how bad I am. I did a signing in New York. I didn't know what was what. And thank God the guy took care of me. Just really, really good dude. But like, you meet fans and the people with the belts, and I don't know. So I would be pretty funny at one of these things, to actually like give him like, oh yes, look at this person, look at that person. I think I
bring my belt.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys want to do a live A show. The WrestleCade is literally like an hour and a half from where I live.
Oh my God!
So all three of us could link up, and I could bring the roadcaster, and we could record something.
When is that?
It's in November, I believe, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
That's far enough out. We could actually plan it. Let's do that. Let's do that shiz. So, okay. So are there any questions that we have to answer?
I didn't see any in the chat. I think you did a really good job. The chat has loved the show today. Aron, you have been a bright spot in this show from everyone in the chat.
What about me? Am I a bright spot?
Well, you are always a bright spot.
You're always a bright spot, April. You're always a bright spot. That's it. Like
my lovely fiance came in and said your hair looked beautiful, and I was like, she thinks she's having a bad hair day, and she was like, no, she's having a great hair day.
Yep.
So
I'll tell her I said thank you, please. Tell her that. Okay, what are we doing? We're doing this. We're doing this.
As the pec twitch happens, we know what that means. We're running out of time.
We're totally ready for the pec twitch.
You got to do arm flex off with me now.
I'm not there yet.
Up here.
I got a bad.
Come on, do it. I'm not either. I spent a year
next week will be the big
working
unveiling.
out of my house doing leg weights. I don't have anything like I used to.
Tune in next week for the bicep off. We're going to have a bicep competition next week. So tell your friend. If not, tell an enemy. That's when we'll do it. It's advertising.
All right, here we go. Here.
Yep. No, no, we've already twitched. When we twitched, it's not like the show's over. When we twitched, it's like, oh, wait a minute. That's like the 2-minute warning. Like,
all right.
That's all. We got a couple minutes. So where can they find us, April?
Thank you to everyone who was on here today. We really appreciate it. This is our time slot for a little while. So thanks, Rich. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Keon. Thanks, Fred. Thanks, Alexa. Thank you, Winona. Thank you for all you guys who continually, I know I'm missing people. I'm sorry. Thank you to everybody who shows up all the time, and we really appreciate it. Thank you to all our patrons for supporting us. It gives us the finances to keep going and do this every week. It matters. So thank you.
And to all you patrons, you know what? You can go F off.
There you go. So thank you for being on our Patreon. And if you want to support us too, it is patreon.com, The A Show. If you're listening to this somewhere else, you can support us over there. Again, The A Show on Patreon. We love you for doing that. Thank you. Allows us to keep going. And we are always looking for your input. And you can find us on Twitter also, _The A Show. So you can find us. We're everywhere. So we're easy. We're also looking to do a little bit more fun stuff coming up soon. We have some guests lined up. We have some stuff coming up. So it should be good.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I'm going to start my own website and call it Hatron. And I'm going to take all the money from the people that are actually feeding hate to everyone out there, and we will drain them of their financial resources so they can't put out any more hate. What do you think of that? We'll call it Patreon.
How do you plan on doing that?
It'll be for haters only.
Okay.
Like, that's all. For haters only. So, you know what?
We'll have to come up with a business model on that one.
Let me know what y'all think about that idea. Write us, leave a comment. We're going to talk about it. What if there was a website called Hatreon where you could just hate on everyone and it would be okay? Like, you could hate on anyone.
It's called Twitter. It's called Twitter.
But no, like you would target people, like you guys would hate, like little Hatreon groups, and then you'd go after motherfuckers, like, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff.
There you go. Thanks, Bravo Needs Bacon,
Patreon.
which is the greatest screen name ever. Bravo Needs Bacon. April Needs Bacon too. So
all right.
Hey,
if you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy.
Thanks for being here. Patreon.
Well, we got to get